Yeah, for example, the migration project is actually the biggest one in my life, actually. The biggest one that I.
Does that scare you?
They must have somebody,
Right.
because like, what is the likelihood of them hiring me?
So the World Bank job, now at that time, 2010, you're still 26 years old.
Yeah.
How did you get in there? Who's the uncle or your father's friend that helped you get that job?
No,
So the pay was
a
pretty
lot.
good then too.
Very good. The pay was very good. The highest that I was able to get there was $3,000 every 10 days, actually, especially when we were uh, in 2011 when we went to Brazzaville. So the World Bank was really giving us good money.
To this episode of This is Biso. Today we are actually meeting a young Congolese achiever. If you didn't know yet, this channel is all about telling our own narrative, one story at a time. So let's go, come on with me, let's go meet this guy and see what his story is all about. We actually want him to tell us what his story is.
I started at Selpay. They trained me, and that was the first time for me to actually see a switch, a router, a firewall, very first time. And that's how I fell in love with IT and,
In this second episode of our interview with Elisee, he shares with us how he went from being a jobless graduate to making close to $10,000 monthly in Congo to managing $1 million projects and overseeing several hundred engineers all across the United States, all that without a US degree. Watch until the end as he shares nuggets of wisdom we can all apply on our way to success. Also, make sure to watch part 1 to hear how it all started. And if you enjoyed the video, show your support by hitting the like button, subscribe, and share, as it really means a lot to us when you do so.
So from the time you started working, your first real job that was paying you good money at Selpay, that was 2000 what?
2008. It was not really. It was, yeah. Back then it was good. It was good money. It was good money, but it was not really.
I mean, if you're 36 now, that was 12 years ago. It means that you were 24
yeah,
and you had
24.
a good job.
Yeah,
I mean, something that could support you if you
I was making like 500 to almost $600.
a month.
It was a lot of money back then because
Living in your parents' house.
living in
it
my
was
parents' house. Yeah, it was good money back then. So yeah, that was the first one. I went to work for the not really the Canadian embassy, but there is like they have a cooperation. I worked for that cooperation before joining the World Bank.
Okay.
And I joined the World Bank. It was back in 2010.
So the World Bank job, now at that time, 2010, you're still 26 years old.
Yeah.
How did you get in there? Who's the uncle or your father's friend that helped you get that job?
No uncle, no father friend.
No connection?
No connection, no nothing.
You applied?
Actually, I did not apply because I thought it was just a joke. So basically, we came back from playing basketball, and we saw, back home that we put like advertisement, right? You just see a sheet of paper on a tree.
And they just write,
Yeah,
put it on the tree.
and then it was.
They do that here too, like missing dog and
Yeah, something
you know.
like yeah, just something like that. And we were kind of like curious. We went and read it, and the advertisement was saying that we are looking for an IT analyst for the World Bank. Wow. But it was like Central Africa and the Congo, and I was like, no, you know what? They must have somebody, because
Right.
like, what is the likelihood of them hiring me? We have so many engineers.
Yes.
And I was like, I'm not gonna do that. So my cousin
Because you
actually,
didn't believe that it was true.
actually-
If you really believed that it was a true advertisement for a job, would you have a
no, back then no, because I was still doubting in myself,
Okay.
and I didn't know how big the place was because I didn't know what the World Bank was back then.
You had heard of it.
The only thing that I heard of about was MONUSCO.
Yeah.
That's the only thing that we knew back home. When you
Right.
say United Nations,
Yeah.
people thought MONUSCO,
Yeah.
but
Which is the UN force or commission
Yeah,
or what
something
that's
like that.
actually
Yeah.
deployed in Congo. It's been there for 20 years now.
So when I said that, I was like, I'm not gonna do that. And my cousin actually, when we got home, he said, "Oh, but why can't you just apply? It doesn't hurt to apply. You know." He's actually the one who took my resume and applied for me.
Did you tell him too?
Yeah, he knows. He
Right.
knows. Yeah, he's the one who did that.
Wow.
And it was like a joke when they called me back. They was like, can we speak to Elisee? I was like, yeah, that's me. My name is Véronique Okito. I'm actually the executive assistant of the World Bank director. And I was like, at the World Bank, I was like, okay. She was like, we liked your resume and we would like to give you a chance for an interview.
Wow.
That's how it was.
So that's how long after the application that
I believe it was two months. It took, United Nations is actually, they have like to go through a lot of protocols and stuff like that.
But when your brother, your cousin does the thing, you forget about it.
Yeah. And he told me, oh, I applied for it. I was like, all right. And then a month, no calls. I was like, I told you, these people, 2 months, I was like, I told you. And it was like, man, we never. And I was like, forget about that. But actually they called. And it was the toughest interview I ever had because somebody flew from Washington, D.C. That guy was the regional manager for the African region. And he's a white man. He doesn't know how to speak French. He only knows bonjour. That's it. That's all he knows. So when he came for the interview...
And your English isn't much better than if a couple years ago that you first got the...
Oh my God. I didn't know nothing. And actually, speaking to like somebody from Washington, D.C.,
yes,
it was like... So I was not able to answer any question actually because I was not able to understand. And at the end, I could see his frustration. He was really frustrated because he was like, maybe he was thinking like, how come they send me somebody who doesn't even understand English?
Yes.
Like, miscommunication, misunderstanding. It was really hard. But at the end, he said, do you have any question for me? It was really like a way let's just stop it, And then he asked me, do you have any question? And I looked at him, I said, can you explain to me all the questions you just asked me so I can understand the system? And he looked at me, he was like, okay. And then I grabbed I had not a book, but
like a notebook.
Yeah, a notebook. I had like a notebook, and I grabbed my pen, and he had the board. He had the board on the wall, and I was like, just go ahead and explain to me. And then he started explaining to me.
Wow.
And I was able to understand. I was like, oh, okay, now I see that. The interview was supposed to be like 30 to 40 minutes. We stayed there like for more than 2 hours because he was explaining to me.
He had patience because it could have been like, we're done.
Yeah, and at the end of it, he told me, you know what? I've done so many interviews. I never had somebody asking me the question, can you explain to me so I can understand?
Wow.
It was the first time. And he said, I really like that you are willing to learn. And when you don't know, you just say you don't know. I really like that.
When you don't know, you just say you don't know.
Just say you don't know because, when you try to speak about something that you don't understand, you're making yourself sound like, crazy,
Yes.
It's better to say I don't know.
That's right.
And 2 weeks after that, he said he decided to hire me.
There you go. So now you're working at the World Bank.
So he flew back to Washington, D.C. He sent a message to the World Bank Congo saying that, hey, that's the guy that I want. So I was hired from Washington, D.C.
Wow.
So I was working for Washington, D.C., but assigned to
Over
both
there.
Congos, like to Congo DRC and Congo
Wow.
Brazzaville. So that's how it was.
So now you're overseeing both countries.
Yeah, it was 2 Congos. So they trained me. I've learned a lot.
So the pay was pretty good then too.
Very good. The pay was very good. The highest that I was able to get there was $3,000 every 10 days actually, especially when we were in 2011 when we went to Brazzaville. So the World Bank was really giving us good money.
Wow. So at that particular time, that would be like $9,000 a month.
Yeah,
What would you do with all that money? You were young.
So that
were you
money-
married?
Nah, I just got married.
You just okay. Listen,
I
this
just
is
got
some
married
juice now. We're gonna talk about it.
So the salary was good, especially when we went to because of the elections. Washington was scared of trouble due to elections, so they sent us over to Brazzaville. That's where we were making actually $2,000 every 10 days. It was a lot of money. And when we came back home, the salary was still good, but we were making good money.
Right.
Yeah.
Okay, so now listen. First, I mean, this is exactly what I'm fascinated about. People's stories. It's just so amazing. Now you're here. You're 36,
Yep.
and you are a senior something. You said
Senior network
before.
engineer.
Senior network engineers. Senior network
security.
software.
Security.
Security engineer,
yeah.
working in cybersecurity.
Yeah.
So, are you, because you talked about that job, you were overseeing 2 countries. Who do you oversee now? I mean, I'm only asking the question because I know that from your story, at the time, you could only be greater today than you were before. What is your scope of? I really want to know. What do you oversee? People? You oversee states? Like what?
So as of today, so the Geico IT team is like it's really big. It's like more than 5,000 people.
Okay.
So my role is actually to take care of it's called core switching and routing. So it's regional core switching and routing.
Okay.
So basically, yeah. So how can I explain that? So yeah, core switching and routing for all the region in the United States. Like that's
okay. Wait. Well, you don't go too fast. We know you're a humble man. When you say all the regions, you say it's regional. Now you say all the regions.
So,
what exactly do you mean when you say all the regions?
So basically, Geico has like so many regions, right, across the United States, and we have so many offices in so many different states. So each regional office has like
the switching
and the routing.
Okay.
So I'm the responsible for that.
Okay. Now let me verbalize back to you what I've understood. You are in charge of a particular department that is found within every single region, but you are in charge of that department at the level of the entire country.
Yes, I can say that.
For that company.
Yeah.
So you are covering all the 48 of the 50 states of this country in this company for that department.
Yeah, I can say
And you are
that.
36 years old.
Yeah. Okay.
You are Congolese by origin.
Yeah.
Born and raised there. I'm born in Africa. And raised mostly in Congo.
Yep.
With Congolese diplomas and degrees and Congolese work experience.
Yep.
And you are here now, under 40, overseeing the operations in your company over the entire country for that particular department.
Yeah.
How cool is that? How many people do you oversee? Like how would you say?
Actually, I don't even know because at a senior level at Geico, the structure is just so big that
It's hard to keep specific
anybody who is like a system engineer 1, system engineer 2, system engineer 3, master engineer, all these people
all the
are
different levels
under you.
they're below
so
you.
depending on the project you're working on, you just have a lot of people to back you up.
So just give us an estimate. Just say, okay, no, you don't want to lie to us, and we might bleep out the name of the company because we don't necessarily want to get into all the details of like the specific things of the company itself, but we just want to know who. So if there's 50 states here in the US and there is 50 offices, let's say there's 2 people in each state, you oversee at least 100 people.
So okay, let me give you an example. Right now, for example, I'm doing a project. I'm doing a migration. That's going to be a core switch migration for all the region. If I really have to count how many, it's a lot of people. It can be like maybe it's hundreds of engineers that I have to work with. Mm-hmm. And you need to tell them for the migration. I need to tell them exactly what to do actually.
Wow.
So you design the architecture, the project scope.
So you manage that particular project and all the other projects within that.
Yeah, for example, the migration project is actually the biggest one of my life actually. The biggest one that I.
Does that scare you?
At first it was, because the company invested millions of dollars. And when the management decided that I was the chief engineer for that project, it was pretty scary.
Wow.
And stressful.
Wow. Did you encounter like competition, like in a negative way, for maybe being in charge of projects that are big like that?
Not really. Something that I really have to give credit to Geico for is actually if you really want to be somebody, they will help you be somebody.
Geico.
Yep, Geico. So they will never push you to like do something that you don't want to do. They are really open. It's a wonderful company.
Wow.
If you don't feel comfortable, if you want to be for example, you want to stay at your place for years, that's fine. You're still gonna get your salary.
If you want to grow,
but if you really want to become somebody, they will really help you become somebody.
Right.
So this type of project, get in your resume. Mm-hmm. So it's when I'm done with this project, I'm telling you I can apply for something else. If I just for in an interview, if I just say, oh, I was the chief engineer for that project,
yes,
which is actually the top 1 project for Geico for 2021, it's huge.
Wow.
So it's a very good experience if you really want to be somebody.
How long have you been working with this?
1 year.
About a year.
For Geico, just 1 year.
Yeah. And I know you've probably done things before that led you to be able to have this position. But listen, I'm kind of here I want to hear your story, and I kind of want to push you to give me some juicy answers, because at the end of the day, we really want to have the information that we don't always feel comfortable asking. Mm-hmm. How much do you make?
So right now I'm making
more than 6 figures?
Yeah, so it's 117.5.
You're making 117,000 what?
Dollars.
A year?
Dollars a year. Yeah.
Wow.
Wow. It's so that's the basic, because Geico has like so many different things. We have profit sharing, and we have like good stuff. So actually, yeah.
Now you're trying to sell the company to someone.
No, I'm not selling the company, but this is just the.
No, it's a good thing.
Yeah,
it's a good thing. It's a good thing.
And they're kind of like, if you want to make more, hey, just just work as hard as you can.
Wow. Listen, so this is what I love. This is what I love. Okay, you're not a flashy person. You're pretty simple and humble and like easygoing and all that. And somebody wouldn't think that you make that much money and Not even just, it's not just about the money, but the position that you occupy, being so young and being, in this country originally from someplace else and degrees from someplace else. So it's doable. Is it doable?
Yeah.
Do you think it's a big miracle that it happened to you?
No, actually, it's not a miracle. Because I only consider a miracle something that is out of the box, right? Out of the box. Oh, wow, that's the first time that I see that. But actually, in this country, if you really want to become somebody, you have all the means and you have everything to become somebody.
Well, but you've told us, I don't want to interrupt you, I'm sorry, but you've told us the story of how you had these wonderful opportunities in Congo too.
Yeah. So I believe I'm a believer. I'm a Christian. So I believe that there is the grace of God above everything. But the grace of God also means be ready for that. So that when the grace of God knocks at your door, you're not gonna be afraid to say to the grace of God, oh no, you know what, this is too much for me. I'm not gonna be able to do this because I was not ready for that. So do your part so that when the grace knocks at your door, you can embrace whatever it brings. Wow. So that's the mindset. And something else, something else that I can share to help the people who want to achieve something. Don't think about, oh, I would like to make that much money first, because the money it's an illusion. It's not real.
What do you mean? What do you mean money is
So
not
when
real?
you say a lot, for me, I really feel like I'm behind. Because Mark Zuckerberg, for example, he has billions of dollars, right? Billions of dollars, right? So what can I do to even get 1 billion? I'm already in my 30s. I'm behind. So if I'm thinking I'm thinking billion. So when you pay me 120 something thousand, I'm just, man, like, how long do I have to work to get to 1 billion? That can make you feel really sad, man. Like, how long? So when you think like that, then you will see that you will keep pushing yourself more and more. More and more.
Because you're dreaming big, you envision, your goals are big goals.
Yeah. Because, you cannot limit yourself to, like, working for somebody, working for a company, working for $100,000. It's, I'm thankful for that, but it's not my goal. I'm trying to get billions of dollars.
What do you want to do with all this money that you want to get?
Wow, I have like, if I could show you my my notebook, you will see all the project, like billions of dollars project that I have on my notebook.
Can you just share? You don't have to share everything. Just a couple simple things that
For example,
if you're comfortable.
I would like to build an high-tech city back home, and I have everything in my mind.
In Congo, you mean?
Yeah.
High-tech city.
An high-tech city, like a dream city. I like to build schools where people can, like, the kid can study for free. So I have, like, so many things in my mind that
wow.
I'm really behind.
And I haven't heard you talk about a mansion or a couple, like, luxury cars and.
Okay.
It's not a bad thing.
It's not
just
bad.
commenting.
It's not bad. I like cars, actually. I like cars. I like driving really fast and stuff like that. Even if my wife, she she's against me most of the time when I stop driving like that. But I like those things. But it's as if you have a golden mine and you have a necklace in gold. And you are so attracted to the necklace when you have a golden mine. Like,
what does the golden mine represent compared to the necklace when you're talking about these big projects that could help other people and something just for you? Like,
yeah, if I can help people, I'm actually helping myself more. People don't understand that. But if I can make you a millionaire, I mean, one day if I have a need, you're gonna help me out. So that's the vision. Help people more. These people are going to help you later. It's not. It's not.
Will or may not, because sometimes you have people and they.
But this is just a law. On earth there is like so many laws. It's just a law. The more you help people, you're just helping yourself. This is a reality actually. So yeah, my vision is now really limited to me. Cars and stuff. It's like too small.
Wow. This is just so interesting. So I mean, this is just a beautiful story, and I hope this inspired you guys. Just all what he went through and his way of seeing things, and just the brotherly love between him and his brother, who didn't like have a complex, of I'm not even sure like how to put it, but wasn't afraid to teach him, knowing that he could make, because sometimes we have that problem. We are afraid of showing or teaching somebody what we know for fear that they may go ahead and use that information and become even greater than we are. But, isn't that the goal that all of us would?
If I always tell the people, even my Congolese brothers, when I say brothers, people from the Congo, whenever I have the opportunity to speak to somebody, I always tell them, it took me so many years to know what I know now, but you don't need, to learn network and those things in 10 years. I can teach you that so that in less than a year, you can have like as much knowledge as I have. And I'm willing to do that for free. Because that's that's what you want to do.
So have you been able to?
Yeah, I'm actually coaching a lot of people across the globe actually.
Wow.
Whenever I have, whenever I can, people call, we do like Zoom, help them, become somebody and share the information, because so many people when they come from Africa, they only have in mind study in the US, which is good. I don't say it's not. It's really good if you have the opportunity to study here. Go ahead for that. But you need to know what you want, depending on the field you would like to work in. But when it comes to IT, you don't. It's not about the degree itself. It's not about PhD, master degree. It's about the knowledge. It's about how to sell yourself. It's about, how can you make good money the easy way. It's about all those information. That's what I share with people. Do this, do that. If you wanna make 100K, for example, just do this. And if you listen, you will see that hey,
Wow.
you're gonna get there. Yeah.
This is really nice.
Yeah.
This is really nice. Well, thank you so much for all of what you shared. I know it was a lot of personal information, but we are so blessed today to be with somebody who actually wants to share. That's the spirit. That's the spirit. We need to be able to love others and be confident enough in ourselves to know that we can share, we can love truly, not just say I love my other brothers, but I'm willing to put in my time, sacrifice some of my extra, free time or whatever, and just give out resources that it took me forever to get.
Yeah, definitely.
Yeah. So you are married?
Yes.
Happily married?
Yes. Yes.
That's wonderful. So if you that's my last question. You're 36, you have a really good job. You seem to be fulfilled, or at least satisfied in what you do for a living, and I'm sure there's much more that you would like to do. And you're stable, and you're married, and and you're young. What would you tell somebody who wants to be like you, who wants to get to a point where they feel they have some stability in life, where they feel like they're at a point where they've laid a foundation for the next step in their life? People that just want to just have a stable job or just establish their career. I know it may not be in IT, but what are some things that you think that you could share with somebody else?
All right.
Just a couple things, or things that have driven you, maybe way of thinking, paradigms,
Yeah.
and
Well, that's a very tough question actually. Because I don't really know the type of audience we watch the video. So as I said before, I'm a believer. I'm a Christian. I know somebody maybe who's not a Christian. We watch the video. So whatever is your source of wisdom, make sure you get that wisdom. That's the first thing. The second thing is don't think about yourself. Don't think about yourself, because the only way for you to grow is to think about others. Just watch the nature. Like a tree, a plant. It can only grow because it's thinking about other. If you just watch the nature, you're gonna see that. So it's a law. If you put yourself in that position, you will see that most of the things you will start doing are going to be you are going to be successful, because you are empowering yourself actually for success. The third thing I can say, if you want to enjoy life, work hard first, and then enjoy life.
there you
And
go.
there is no going back with the time. That's what I can say.
It's done. It's done.
Yep. If you waste your time, don't think you're gonna get it back. So as I say, you can enjoy life. Go to nightclub and all that. But my way of thinking, if I really wanna go to a nightclub, I'm gonna spend money, right? So let me make sure first that I have enough money, so that when I'm spending the money in the nightclub, I'm not regretting. I don't have to wait for another paycheck. Yeah. So get the money first, and then if you want to enjoy your life the way you want, just go ahead. And I know I said it was the last thing, but make sure the people around you, your surround yourself with people that are more successful than you, so that you can watch and learn, and you can have a goal to become like them. There's so many things, another thing, whatever doesn't put money in your pocket, get rid of it.
Okay.
Whatever doesn't put money in your pocket, get rid of it.
Give an example.
For example,
You mean like time wasting and
let me just give an example, that because everybody goes to nightclub, right? And restaurant, which is good. But if you go to a nightclub, how much are you gonna spend? The money that you're spending, you actually taking the money out of your pocket. Being there is not putting any money in your
back
pocket.
in your pocket, and that money you can get it back.
It's like I said, like it's passive, right? If it's only passive, just get rid of it. If you're going in a nightclub and you're paying 1,000 to get 10,000, oh, okay,
That's different.
whatever. But if you are only spending your money, if the people around you are only making you spend your money and everything, the time, Facebook, social media, if you're just spending your time and it doesn't pay you back, just get rid of it.
That's right.
So that's another way, one of my way of thinking as well.
That's wonderful. I mean, thank you so much for these nuggets of wisdom. I think that we can definitely all use those and remind ourselves of these things every day, because sometimes it's so easy to lose focus with everything that's there.
Yep.
So now you promised us that you're gonna. We've talked about so many serious things. How about we just go and maybe have